The nights I cried after she slept, I always waited for her breathing to slow, for her tiny fists to unclench, for that soft sigh to escape her lips, the signal that sleep had finally won. Only then would I let go of the strength I'd been holding all day. Only then would the tears come. It wasn't weakness. It was exhaustion, emotional, physical, and sometimes spiritual. Being both mother and father wasn't something I had planned. One day I was a husband, a partner, a man sharing the weight of life. The next, I was standing in a hospital hallway, holding my daughter with one arm and signing death papers with the other. Life didn't pause to let me grieve. My daughter Alina was barely 2 when her mother passed. She needed me for everything: meals, lullabies, laughter, reassurance. I gave it all to her during the day, smiling through the pain, making silly faces, pretending that our world hadn't shattered. But at night, when her little eyelids closed and her world turned into dreams, my own world collapsed in the quiet. Some nights I'd cry silently, my face buried in my hands, because the apartment walls were thin, and I didn't want her to hear. Other nights I'd stare at her sleeping face and feel a storm inside me, fear of failing her. Guilt for feeling tired, anger at life for being so cruel. Money was tight. Worked 2 jobs, driving a delivery van in the morning and stacking shelves at night. Sleep was a luxury. I'd put her to bed at 9, then sneak out for my night shift while my neighbor, an elderly widow, kept an eye on her. I'd return at dawn, just in time to make her breakfast and take her to daycare. There were days I wanted to quit everything. Days when her smile was the only thing between me and breaking apart. I remember once, she found me sitting on the kitchen floor, my head against the fridge. I was too drained to even hide my tears. She toddled over, climbed into my lap, and put her little hands on my cheeks. "Don't cry, Baba," she whispered. "I'm here." That night I didn't cry after she slept. Sat beside her crib, watching her, realizing that maybe I wasn't keeping her alive. Maybe she was keeping me alive. The years passed, and the nights I cried grew fewer. Not because life became easier, but because I learned to carry the weight differently. I started taking evening classes, earning a better job. I began tucking little notes into her lunchbox. "I'm proud of you. I love you. Be brave today." She grew into a strong, compassionate young woman, and on the day she graduated from high school, she hugged me tighter than she ever had. "Baba," she said, her eyes glistening, "I know about the nights you cried. I know you think I didn't notice, but I did. And I'll spend the rest of my life making sure you never have to cry alone again." I realized then that those nights, those lonely, quiet breakdowns, hadn't been signs of weakness. They were proof that I had loved with everything I had, even when it hurt, because sometimes the strongest thing a parent can do is cry when their child can't see.